Now it's become an issue to where it's like pretty much our whole field's taken.
Asylum seekers have taken over a Barrio Logan Park, and the people who live nearby are worried and frustrated. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. A parent reached out to CBS8 saying they've complained about the growing encampment at Cesar Chavez Park, but nothing has been done. CBS8 Shannon Handy is working for you to get answers, including how the asylum seekers are responding.
I'm told tents started popping up here at the end of last year, but over the past couple of months, they have grown by the dozens. Neighbors say these asylum seekers don't belong here, but the asylum seekers tell me they have nowhere else to go.
We shouldn't be having to go through this, especially not as a community, not our kids.
Alba Flores has 2 kids who play soccer at Cesar Chavez Park in Barrio Logan every week. They've grown accustomed to seeing tents here, but say in recent months, the situation has gotten out of control.
Witnessing people taking showers naked in the restroom. I am witnessing them drinking, doing drugs, arguing between them.
On top of that, she says the bathrooms have flooded due to toilets overflowing, and there's often trash left on the field. Arturo Herrera shares those same concerns. He's one of the soccer coaches and has a grandson who also plays here. He and Alba tell me they've complained to the city several times, yet nothing's been done to stop it.
They cannot go to the playground because there are adults sitting there, they're drinking, or they're making food. We understand the situation, but they have to do something.
While there, I saw dozens of people, including many small children.
¿Cuántos años tienen?
Their parents were eager to talk to me, saying right now living here is their only option.
Por acá.
Patricia is from Venezuela. She pointed out a tent where she, her husband, and 7-year-old son have been sleeping for the past 10 days. She and others I spoke to say they left their native countries because it wasn't safe. When they arrived here, they were allowed in to seek asylum, then dropped off at a bus station with no guidance and nowhere to go.
Las personas aquí necesitan más ayuda.
Sí. Patricia says she needs more help. This father of 3 started crying, telling me he needs the same. When I asked about what neighbors say they've witnessed, they told me they keep to themselves and maintain clean areas. The park is under the jurisdiction of the Port of San Diego. In a lengthy statement, a spokesperson said in part, "We hear and share the community's concerns about this challenging issue, and our response is to approach it with as much compassion and humanity as we can." They went on to explain the Port has reached out to local providers and partners to inquire about shelter availability. Moving forward, the Port will start enforcing park rules by first providing information, then issuing notices, followed by criminal citations or arrests as a last resort.
I just hope that we're heard, that they come, that they give them a place, a safe place for them and for their children, but not in public areas.
Working for you, Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
And remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.
It was a warm day across the county today. Downright hot in our CBS8 parking lot with all that black asphalt. But what else can we expect this week?
Just one in a series. Meteorologist Sean Stiles in tonight for Carlene with more on the heat warnings for parts of the county. Sean?
You know, Carlo, Marcella, it was a toasty one. The further you head east, the hotter it got. The coastline, not so bad. It is the dog days of summer after all, but it shouldn't be this hot in San Diego for this long of a period. This heat advisory has been going on for a solid 5+ days. The excessive heat warning equally as long. Very dangerous heat out there. Look at these highs in the county. Valley Center, Ramona, Campo, and Borrego Springs, all over 100. Borrego Springs, ridiculous. 99 in Alpine, 96 in El Cajon. The good news is slightly cooler by tomorrow. The coastline, it's, you know, you kind of be almost whining if you said it was too hot. I mean, it is a little humid, but in the inland microclimates, one more day of temperatures into the 90s, and then we're going to bring it back down into the 80s. So some relief. However, we're going to do a little trading here. Barter. I'm going to have to take the heat, and you're going to have to take a little bit of thunderstorms heading our way.
All right, we'll have to take that trade. Thanks, Sean. For the latest weather conditions and alerts on the go, you can download our free CBS 8 app from Google Play or the App Store. The man who killed 2 sisters in Bay Terraces last year while driving drunk learned his fate today in a downtown courtroom.
Tony Garcia was sentenced after emotional words from another victim in the car and some pointed comments from the judge. CBS 8's Steve Price was in the courtroom and joins us now in studio with the details. Steve.
Marcella and Carlo, there were tears in the courtroom today from Donna Moreno, who somehow survived this horrific wreck, but then made it clear in court today that she in no way considers herself lucky after losing her two good friends. These two sisters, Elizabeth and Jasmine Cano, had no chance to survive. Their injuries from the crash too severe.
Every breath I took hurt because I was choking in my own blood.
Donna Moreno was also in the car and suffered a collapsed lung, liver damage, and still has no sensation in her right hand. She gathered the courage today to speak at the sentencing for Tony Garcia, who went out drinking, got behind the wheel of his truck, and slammed into their car.
Yes, I am alive, but the bodily injuries you caused me isn't the only pain I suffer through on a daily basis. The survivor's guilt I feel every day hurt me still having PTSD from the accident. That's not a life if you ask me.
It happened May 14, 2023. Garcia's truck ran a red light and broadsided the Honda Civic with the three women inside. Elizabeth, a 25-year-old mother of two, had just found out she and her husband were expecting another child. Jasmine was just 23. Instead of staying to help the victims, Garcia ran away.
I really want to ask you a question that's been hurting me. It's to know why you took off and left me unable to breathe and my friends agonizing.
Garcia later turned himself in and eventually pled guilty to vehicular manslaughter and hit and run. But to this day, he has not apologized to the victims, and when offered a chance in court,
he's been deeply impacted by everything.
Garcia declined, letting his attorney do all the talking, and that did not sit well with the judge.
You can't even say, I'm sorry to a mother who lost two daughters. You can't say, I'm sorry to two young girls that will never have a mother. You cannot say, I'm sorry to a husband or boyfriend that will never have their loved ones again.
Garcia was sentenced to 14 years, 8 months in state prison. By the way, if you're wondering about that sentence, it was actually agreed to as part of a plea deal, but it was clear in speaking to the sisters' family after court that they definitely wanted Garcia to spend a lot more time behind bars. I mean, you heard from the judge even that at this point they have heard no sorry, no signs of remorse for what he did. And this is not the first time that he's been busted for driving under the influence, by the way.
A lot of times, we cover these tragic court cases and the defendant does wish to have their voice heard, even if he didn't want to speak himself, but have his attorney or a family spokesperson say something on behalf of him, so that didn't happen either? Did
not happen. His attorney just, said a few words for him and then moved on. We didn't hear from Mr. Garcia at all.
So tragic. Thanks so much, Steve.
A North County man who pleaded guilty to molesting a 13-year-old girl at an Oceanside park last year has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Connor Shinovi worked as a substitute teacher for Vista Unified and was a counselor at the victim's school. He also worked as a water polo coach in Carlsbad and as a lifeguard in Carlsbad and Encinitas. The girl's mother used a tracking app to locate her daughter in the back seat of Shinovi's car at Guajome Lake Park back in November. Larry Miliete was in a Chula Vista courtroom today for a hearing in his upcoming murder trial. He's accused of killing his wife, Maya, who disappeared in January of 2021. In the meantime, a trial to determine guardianship of the couple's 3 children got underway in downtown San Diego today, and CBS 8's David Gofferton was the only reporter there for opening statements.
The family of Maya is looking for a dead body.
The battle over guardianship of Maya Miliete's 3 children has been happening in probate court for nearly 3 years. Maya's sister, Mary Chris Droulet, filed a petition for custody of the kids months after Maya went missing from her Chula Vista home in January 2021. Maya's body has not been found, and her husband, Larry Miliete, is in jail waiting to be tried for his wife's murder.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Leanne Salvatini on behalf of Mr. Miliete, who's present before the court in custody, seated in the jury box.
Miliete appeared in Chula Vista court Monday afternoon for a hearing in advance of his murder trial, currently set for January. But the judge said the defense intends to file a written motion to continue the trial to a later date. Both sides will argue that motion now on September 10th. The 3 children, now ages 14, 13, and 8, are living with their paternal grandparents, Benito and Judith Miliete, in the family's Chula Vista house. No cameras were allowed in court Monday for opening statements in the guardianship trial. Attorney Scott Finkbeiner, who represents Maya's sister, told the judge the grandparents have, quote, tried to poison the relationship with the maternal family, creating a, quote, toxic emotional environment for the kids. The attorney said a forensic psychologist concluded Maya's sister should be granted guardianship and that the grandparents have been coaching the children to stop mental health treatment. After that, the grandparents spoke. They have no attorney and they are representing themselves. Benito Miliete told the judge, quote, the kids are healthy, but they wish their mom and dad would return to the house. He said, quote, we love our grandchildren. We're old, but God will give us more life to take care of the children. Family members on both sides declined to comment until after the judge makes his ruling. The trial could continue into next week. Regardless of which side wins custody of the kids, the other side likely will still get visitation. At the downtown courthouse, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. The park fire burning across 4 counties in Northern California is now the 4th largest in state history. It is also the largest wildfire burning in the nation right now. This fire started 2.5 weeks ago and has since burned more than 400,000 acres. It is 34% contained. Nearly 1,300 buildings have been destroyed, many of them people's homes. More than 6,600 firefighters, including crews from across San Diego County, have been working to contain the fire in what we're told is an all-hands-on-deck approach. Here in Southern California, crews are making great progress against the Nixon fire in Riverside County. This has burned just over 5,200 acres and is now 92% contained. Investigators say it was started last week by a privately owned electrical panel.